Coverage of our Scarlet Hawks athletics on Milford TV is brought to you by the following sponsors. Our presenting sponsor, the Rail Trail Flatbread Company, a casual American dining experience with locations in Hudson and on Main Street here in Milford. Rentschler Biopharma, sponsor of our broadcast booth. Rentschler Biopharma transforms innovative ideas into life-saving biopharmaceuticals. Rentschler Biopharma, reliability you can trust. And Unibank, big bank know-how, community bank attitude, serving the Milford community at their local branch on Prospect Street inside the Shaw's Plaza.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome inside the gymnasium here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Milford TV Executive Director here with you on the call, coming to you live once again from our Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth. Rentschler Biopharma, reliability you can trust. We are coming very close to the end of this 2024-2025 winter sports regular season. We're now into the month of February. And tonight, the Milford Scarlet Hawks girls basketball team looks to continue to finish strong in this regular season as they face one of their Kelly Rex Division rivals in the Attleboro Bombardiers. These two teams come in very close to each other in a lot of numbers on the season, including record. Milford comes in 5th place. They're 6-9 overall on the season. Attleboro just in front of Milford in those standings. They are 6-8. And so we expect a competitive battle to take place between these two teams, but one of the players to watch out for sure on the Attleboro side is their sharpshooter Avery James, who drops into 3 to set the tone in this basketball game. And Ava Baglione, fresh off of one of her biggest games of the season, answers right back with a three of her own, and so tied up as Milford now puts some pressure on at center court. Attleboro able to advance. They feed James again. This time her shot rims out. Rebound is controlled initially by Attleboro, but then fought for and won by Kay Pellegrini. Just 60 seconds into this first quarter action, settling into the coverage here for you. As Attleboro is able to win another offensive rebound, creating a couple of chances on this possession. Ball squirts out, and it's picked up by Olivia Baglione, pushes the pace up ahead to her sister. And Ava's shot is going to rim out, and the rebound controlled by the Bombardiers. Milford comes into this game tonight off of a victory. They've won 2 out of their last 3. Most recently, they were able to claim victory on the road against the Sharon Eagles, a 49-36 win. And we mentioned Ava Baglione as the star of that game, as she ended up scoring a team-high 24 points on a night that Milford scored 49 as a team. So a tremendous performance. Got to be one of the top point performances in the varsity career of Ava Baglione. As Kay Pellegrini comes out to fight for a rebound, and she ends up getting fouled. So nice job by the Scarlet Hawks to be able to brush off that tough loss to the Foxborough Warriors. That was the last time we covered this team on Wednesday of last week. Still just 3 points apiece as we approach 6 minutes to play in the opening quarter. And Attleboro will give it away. Attleboro winning the Kelly Rex Division title last season, advancing to the Division I round of 16, but it's been more of a struggle this season for the Bombardiers. They did return Avery James, one of their top scorers from last year's team, graduated a couple of their starters, but it's been a much more difficult go for Attleboro in the Kelly Rex this season. Again, coming into action tonight, overall 2 games under 500. They're currently in 4th place position in the Kelly Rex. Downing in some trouble. She's able to get it out to Kernan, and now finds Olivia Baglione cutting to the basket. Back outside to Downing. 10 seconds left on the shot clock as Ava Baglione tries to find an angle to the basket, but her shot was offline. Rebound controlled by Shamila Bodden. Ball loose on the floor, picked up by Bodden. Milford with a good double team underneath the basket, forces the pass back outside, but Jenna Callahan there to knock down already now the second three-pointer in the quarter for the Bombardiers. Quickly now, let's get to your starting 5. It is Shamila Bodden, Avery James, Jenna Callahan, Lola Runane, and Tia Williamson. And the usual starting 5 for the Scarlet Hawks: Olivia Baglione, Ava Baglione, TJ Downing, Caitlin Kernan, and Kay Pellegrini. Olivia dribbles it out, skips a pass into the corner for Downing. Good defense there by Bodden, but the foul committed by the Bombardiers. That's already the second foul of the night called on Tia Williamson. 3 early team fouls for the Bombardiers, none so far for the Scarlet Hawks. This will force Williamson to the bench. Out to the corner for Ava, cuts inside, tries to float it up, but not enough height on that shot. But Kernan is able to win it back, tries a circus shot. I don't know if she was trying to absorb contact there. A couple of hacks for Milford underneath the basket, but not able to get anything in. And it is still a 6-3 Attleboro lead as we get another substitution here as Christelle St. Ville will come into the game for the Bombardiers. Bounce pass entry, ball is up for grabs, then settled down by Olivia Baglione. And now into the corner, Ava for three. That is going to clank off the side of the backboard, but directed into the hands of Olivia. Now back to Ava, who will cut inside. And she's going to pick up another foul. I believe it is Lily Diddick for Attleboro out there, number 32, who replaced Tia Williamson. We had her as 34 on our roster. That might have been a clerical error on my part. So it is indeed Lily Diddick in off the bench to replace Williamson. So that's something to watch out for, with Williamson a big part of this offense. Right now forced to the bench with a couple of early fouls. Ava Baglione shooting free throws for Milford. That most recent foul going on on Avery James. Two successful free throws for Ava Baglione. She has all 5 of Milford's points in this first quarter, but will now go to the bench. Kyla Nashawati into the game. Kyla had a good game when these two teams met at Attleboro High School earlier this season. We'll dig more into how that game went down at the next stoppage in play. Right now, 3 minutes and 49 seconds to go in the first quarter. And a 1-point game. As meanwhile, Milford has picked up a couple of fouls, including that one on TJ Downing, her first. Free throw attempts for Lola Renane. Able to make the second. It's a 2-point Attleboro lead. Into the hands of Caitlin Kernan. Kernan off a screen. Takes it inside. She'll get called for the travel. St. Ville now to the near side, kicks it to the corner for Bodden. Feeds Diddick, and now the skip pass over to Avery James. She'll take it inside the arc this time, but the shot misses everything. Now Milford trying to push the tempo up the court, and that pass from Downing way too elevated for Nashawati's reach. Milford with another turnover. Reagan Cunningham now will check into the game, spelling Pellegrini. We had a chance to see most of the JV game play out between these two teams. It was relatively close until the fourth quarter. The Attleboro JV squad able to pull away from there. Ended up in about a 15-point margin of victory when all was said and done. Diddick here with the bucket as Attleboro continues to have extended looks thanks to their offensive rebounding. Cunningham now trying to get around Diddick, instead hands it off to Downing. Good defense from the Bombardiers, making Milford uncomfortable. Here's Downing trying to get the bank shot. Not a lot falling for Milford. The only player with points currently sitting on the bench, that's Ava Baglione. Meanwhile, foul called on Kyla Nashawati, her first. So now 3 team fouls for Milford, 4 for the Bombardiers as we come down to 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. Attleboro with a 4-point lead. St. Ville with a long 2. She gets that to bank in. Cunningham, the dish back to Nashawati. She tries to take it to the basket. But again, it's been good defensive positioning so far for the Bombardiers. And now Diddick with a wide open look right underneath the rim. But had that bounce out, and now Milford really looking out of sorts. Poor passing so far in this quarter. Ava Baglione back into the game now as St. Ville looks a little out of control going to the basket, but Milford's going to pick up another foul. And that's now the second foul on Nashawati. So St. Ville now will shoot free throws, looking to extend what is currently a 6-point Attleboro lead. Nashawati to the bench. St. Ville makes the second free throw. Lead for Attleboro is 7. Here's Kernan now with a runner to the basket. First points for Caitlin. After that ball was nearly tipped away, Milford able to salvage the possession and turn it into points. Here's James now from the corner, and she puts in her second three of the quarter. That's 3 3-pointers in all for Attleboro in this quarter. Lead for Attleboro is 8. As Kernan attacks the basket. And Milford will turn it over. James now kicking it over into the near wing, gets it back, looking for 3 again. And right now, Avery James, red hot. All of her points have come from beyond the arc in this quarter. She has 9 and has pushed the Attleboro lead to 11 points. As Kernan loses the dribble. Physical defense from Lily Diddick. Forces the ball back on the perimeter. 8 seconds left. Cunningham struggling to maintain possession, has it taken away. And now Diddick will run the floor, has a body up ahead. The shot is no good as the buzzer sounds, and not a great start to the night for the Scarlet Hawks as they find themselves down early, 18-7. And so we'll see what adjustments the girls can make here as we take a quick pause on the broadcast. Coming to you live from our Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth, 18-7 the lead for Attleboro. Back with more in just a moment here on Milford TV, coverage presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Back for second quarter action here in the Milford gym. Coming to you from our Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth. At their Milford site, Rentschler Biopharma offers full-service solutions along the entire biopharmaceutical value chain for large-scale clinical and commercial CGMP manufacturing. Meanwhile, Ava Baglione picks up a quick foul as we resume for second quarter action. Tim Coet here on the call. Patrick Garapi helping out with the coverage as well. Our penultimate coverage of this girls basketball team, at least for the regular season. We are hopeful to be back here in the gym on Thursday night for senior night. We had originally planned to be here on Friday night for coverage, but we called a bit of an audible when the schedule changed and that Hopedale senior night game was taking place on Thursday. So weather permitting, we're hoping to bring you that coverage on Thursday, but there is some pretty nasty weather expected during the day on Thursday, so hopeful we'll be here in the gym for that game on Thursday night. In the meantime, 7 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in the second quarter as Milford needs a boost. Attleboro looking to be the team with a lot more energy and certainly a lot more execution. Ava Baglione with a missed three. Reagan Cunningham able to grab the offensive rebound but could not put it back. And it remains an 11-point Attleboro lead. Good passing, Saintville open from three, shot no good. TJ Downing able to pull down the rebound. Downing can't get loose, good defense from Saintville, has to cough it up. Olivia now starts it around the perimeter. Right now Milford playing with both Kay Pellegrini and Reagan Cunningham on the floor. Here's Downing, a little out of control as she went up for that shot. Cunningham puts it back. No good on the shot, but she'll have a chance to shoot free throws. Kaylee Vassar off the bench for Attleboro, whistled for the foul. Cunningham able to get that second shot to rattle through. And she quickly heads to the bench. Caitlin Kernan returns to the floor as Milford tries to trap in the backcourt. Attleboro able to pass it ahead, but then intercepted by Downing. She tries to rush the floor, leading to a look for Ava Baglione. She knocks down her second three of this first half. And now the ball ends up out of play. Milford will take over. And so a little bit of a run here from Milford, a little 5-0 run to get themselves close. The lead for Attleboro still stands at 6. Milford trying to open up Baglione on the perimeter. Instead, Attleboro forces her to dribble inside. And again, Milford trying to get a little too fancy underneath the basket. And now Kernan pokes the ball loose. Running the floor with James, takes it to the rack and scores. Second bucket of the game for Kernan. That ups the Milford run to 7-0, and that forces the Attleboro head coach Bree Bracken to call a timeout as the Bombardiers' lead has shrunk down to 4. So we talked about it a few minutes ago. This is the second meeting in the regular season between these two teams. Milford has had virtually no luck head-to-head against Attleboro in quite some time. Just one for their last 15 games, 1-14 head-to-head against Attleboro. That's dating back all the way to the 2014-2015 season. But they did play Attleboro hard earlier this year in a game that took place right after the new year. Milford was down heading into the fourth quarter, orchestrated a furious comeback that unfortunately came up just short, and Attleboro was able to hang on for dear life and win at home 56-54. But Milford able to compete with the Bombardiers all night long. A lot of good performances in that game, including TJ Downing, who scored 14 points as part of that fourth quarter comeback. She had 20 overall in the game. Caitlin Kernan had 14 points in the game. Ava Baglione had 10. Kyla Nashawati chipped in with 8 points. And so Milford knows that they can hang with this team. Right now, letting Attleboro have too many rebound opportunities. That was Lola Ronayne, who grabbed about 3 offensive rebounds just by herself until finally Attleboro put in that shot. Milford has to do better on the defensive glass. It was eventually St. Ville who put in the bucket. She's been effective off the bench. Here's Olivia Baglione for a deep 2. First points of the night for Olivia. So the lead back down to 4, but there is Avery James out of the corner. Too easy. 5th three-pointer for Attleboro in this half. Milford has 2. And so the lead back. As Kernan is going to get fouled. The lead at 7 currently. Lola Ronayne, meanwhile, whistled for the foul. She now has 2. Tia Williamson's been on the bench for the majority of this half after picking up 2 early fouls. And now, meanwhile, Milford traps in the corner and forces the travel after 2 good free throws for Caitlin Kernan. Milford's been good from the free throw line so far, 6 for 6. Olivia Baglione trying to find some space. Kicks it to Ava, bounce pass down low to Cunningham, nothing there. They'll try it again. Cunningham slips in this time and gets 2. 4 points in the half now for Reagan, down to a 1-possession game as James is going to get called for the travel. So Milford with the ball back, down to a 1-possession game. A much better looking quarter for Milford here in the second. And Coach Austin Costa calling a timeout, stopping the clock with exactly 3.5 minutes to go in this first half. Gives us an opportunity to acknowledge our presenting sponsor of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV, the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. A casual American dining experience specializing in an all-scratch-made kitchen featuring wood-fired flatbreads. An inviting atmosphere for the whole family to enjoy. Check them out at their location on Main Street here in Milford or in their Hudson location. Very appreciative of Rail Trail Flatbread Company for their generous support of our sports coverage here on Milford TV, which is rapidly coming to an end for this winter sports season. So we've still got 2 more games on tap for you this week. We'll be right back here in the gym tomorrow night for our final coverage of the Scarlet Hawks wrestling team of the season as they take on Boston Latin. Expect the varsity action to get underway somewhere between 6:30 and 7 o'clock, depending on how long the JV matches go. And then, as we mentioned, on Thursday, we'll be here, weather permitting, for the girls' senior night game against the Hopedale Blue Raiders, and then we will conclude our winter sports regular season coverage 1 week from tonight with one last edition of boys basketball coverage as Milford will host the Franklin Panthers, the Kelly Rex Division leading Franklin Panthers. And out of the timeout, Milford has whittled the deficit down to just 3. Baglione kicks it outside. Good look for Kernan from 3, but that shot was short. You can hear Coach Costa preaching no foul from the sideline, but unfortunately that is exactly what happened for Kernan. It's Caitlin's first foul. And now Ava Baglione breaking things up at midcourt. Able to get a pass away to TJ Downing. Nice play from Ava, who's had her hands all over this first half, and she knocks down the three that ties this game at 23. She's been red hot from three-point range. She's knocked down three. Will she try it again here? Instead, she dribbles it across and kicks it back out for Cunningham. The two go back and forth. Now Ava, bounce pass outside for Kernan. Kernan will drive it all the way to the rack for two. And Milford finding their groove here in the second quarter as they pull ahead 25-23. An outstanding run in this second quarter. They've limited Attleboro to just 5 points so far. An 18-5 swing in this second quarter to get Milford out in front. So an outstanding effort here, turning things around. We'll see if they can keep it up with still 2:39 to go in this half. The boys basketball team on the road tonight, taking on their Attleboro counterparts. They played a close game against Attleboro here at home earlier in this season as well. Close for the most part, ended up letting it go in the end. It was a 74-50 final score, but I know by all accounts that was a disappointing finish for the boys in that game. So seeing if they can keep pace with their Bombardier counterparts, we'll see if maybe we can find an update for that game at the half. But in the meantime, our full focus here on the Milford court, where the girls have battled their way back into this game. They've taken a lead, now another steal, and Attleboro commits the foul, and it's been a complete role reversal here in the second quarter. In the first, Milford looking very uncomfortable. Attleboro was smooth, effective on both ends of the court, but those roles have completely flipped. And so meanwhile, a third foul called on Lola Ronayne. It's been interesting to not see Tia Williamson return to the court at all in the second quarter. She has been on the bench since picking up her second foul relatively early on in the first. First free throw misses of the game. Two misses for Kernan. The ball loose. Baglione had a chance to pick it up. Instead, Bodden taking it to the basket. She picks up a foul. And TJ is going to pick up her second foul. Ball rattling around, but it drops in for Shamila Bodden. One more coming up here for a chance to tie the score. So knotted up again now at 25. TJ Downing on the bench for now. On the Milford side. Brennan drops that pass in for Pellegrini. Now all the way around for a look from three-point range for Olivia Baglione. Off the side of the rim. Cunningham trying to break things up, but Attleboro safely advances. Kernan selling out for a steal. Brief numbers advantage up the floor. Now Diddick She can't drop it in. Ball ends up out of play. It'll be Attleboro ball. Attleboro led by as much as 11. They led coming into the second quarter by 11. Milford battling back, briefly taking a 2-point lead, and now all tied up with less than 90 seconds to go. Shot released from Kernan is no good. Pellegrini grabs the rebound. Baglione, she puts it in for 2. Olivia with 4 second quarter points. Milford back up by 2. Kernan again with ball pressure. Now the ball squirts loose, and that will tip out of play, and Milford will take over with 1:04 on the clock. TJ Downing will check back in. Cunningham to the bench. More good work off the bench for Reagan. Good passing here for Milford. Trying to find an open shooter. It's Downing for 3, and it's short. And a foul committed on the rebound attempt. And that will be number 2 on Kernan. And so Caitlin heads to the bench, and Reagan Cunningham a quick re-entry onto the floor. Meanwhile, Lily Diddick makes a quick exit from the floor. Looks like she's got some blood coming from the nose. Ava Baglione, a broken up pass. That goes out of play. Shot from the corner. That's good for 3. It was the 3-point shooting that really helped build up the early lead for Attleboro. Overall, they've made 6 in the half, but there is Ava able to answer right back, coming off of one of the best offensive performances of her varsity career and giving a worthy follow-up performance so far here tonight. And now that pass eludes the grasp of Christelle St. Ville, and Milford will take over with 6 seconds to try to put in one final shot. Caitlin Kernan will come back onto the floor. Into Baglione, 5 seconds to go. 2 seconds and 1. Pellegrini able to put a shot up. It's off the side of the rim, and we will head into halftime with Milford on top of Attleboro 30-28. An impressive second quarter effort for the Scarlet Hawks after just scoring 7 points in the first. Looking to keep that energy up when they come back for the third quarter. We'll have that third quarter coverage for you coming up in just about 10 minutes from now. So hang tight on the live coverage across our Milford TV platforms. We'll be back with more shortly as we bring you this coverage live from our Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth. And coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV is presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV is presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. What better way to say I love you this Valentine's Day than with a heart-shaped flatbread? To make these flatbreads even more special, Rail Trail Flatbread Company is attaching love-themed poems written by local elementary school students to each flatbread box. Pre-orders are live now, available for takeout on February 13th and 14th. Pre-order at railtrailflatbread.com/heart-shaped pre-order. Fun promotion going on with our friends over at Rail Trail. Back in our Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth as we settle in for second half coverage here in this varsity girls basketball game between Milford and Attleboro. Milford with a 2-point lead coming into the second half. TJ Downing puts up a 3 to get things started. It's no good, and Tia Williamson back onto the floor after missing most of the first half. Grabs the rebound. It's all Attleboro to start, as the Bombardiers had an 18-7 lead after the first quarter, but Milford outscored the Bombardiers 23-10 in the second quarter to take a 30-28 lead. Ava Baglione leading all scorers with 14 points, including 4 threes. Pulls up for a 2, gets the second half scoring started. Avery James led the scoring for the Bombardiers with 12 first half points. All of those came from three-point territory. So these teams have combined for 10 threes over the course of the first half. We'll see one here from the corner, and that rattles in for Jenna Callahan. That's her third make from three-point territory. And cuts the Milford lead down to 1. These teams have been close in just about every way so far this season. As Kernan guns that pass underneath the basket to Olivia Baglione, she dribbles back out and then gives it away. Shamila Bodden up the floor. Milford is able to get back defensively, and Pellegrini is going to get called for a foul that gets the Milford fans riled up. It's her first foul of the night. Misses the first of her free throw attempts. So Milford 6-9 overall on the season, 4-8 in league play. Attleboro 6-8 overall on the season, 5-7 in league play. So just one more league win is the difference maker in the spot in the standings. In terms of points per game, it is Attleboro at 45.3 points per game, Milford at 45.4. And defensively, Milford allowing 47.6 points per game, Attleboro at 47 even. So statistically, almost an exact replica of each other. Tough pass on the inbounds into Pellegrini, and the ball gets knocked back out of play. And the inbounds comes to the corner now for Ava. That shot takes a hard ricochet off the side of the rim. Attleboro runs the floor and puts it in for 2. Shamila Bodden with a chance for a 3-point play as Attleboro retakes the lead. Misses the free throw. 2-point lead now for the Bombardiers as both Bagliones advance into the front court. Into the corner for Kernan from 3. Rattles off the backboard, but Milford keeps the possession going. Now Downing for 3. Her shot was short. So Milford trying to keep pace with Attleboro's 3-point shooting. As now the Bombardiers get called for a travel. Tight one here in the third. Again out on the perimeter. Olivia Baglione surveying her options. Puts up a shot, and will have a chance to earn it from the line. Christelle St. Ville picks up her first foul Two team fouls for Milford. That's the first now for Attleboro in the second half. Milford made their first 6 free throws of the night. They've now missed their last 3. Another miss for Olivia, keeps the lead with the Bombardiers. Now Williamson gets the feed down low. She'll get called for a travel. So which team will regain their form first here in the second half? Outside for Downing, she passes up the look. Baglione wanted to pull the trigger, instead gets it to Kernan. And now that pass telegraphed, it's picked off by Shamila Bodden. She has 5 points in this third quarter as Kernan drives a bit out of control to the basket. And her shot is no good. Now it's James up top for 3. And so it is Attleboro now who has seized the momentum. And TJ Downing will now finally get on the score sheet after an 11-2 run for the Bombardiers, finally broken up by that 3. And meanwhile, Milford will now have the chance to inbound, trailing it by 4. Ava wanted it in the corner. The shot was short. Cunningham could not grab the rebound. And now here comes James up the floor for Attleboro. Gives it down low to Williamson. Good defense underneath the basket for Reagan Cunningham. Ava with her arms extended out on the perimeter. They find her. And now dribbles inside. Can't get the bank. And the ball goes out of play. Last touch by James. Inbounds to Caitlin Kernan. She gets locked up with Williamson. Possession arrow will give it to the Bombardiers as Kernan got wrestled to the ground at the end of that contact. Milford puts on some pressure. Nearly created the turnover, but Attleboro now safely gets the ball into the front court. Shamila Bodden, who's been one of the hot hands here in the third for Attleboro, tosses that ball to the corner. No one was there, and not sure what the call is here, as it looks like they're going to give it to Attleboro. Right now, the officials now getting together. An extended conversation here amongst the officials. And it will be Milford ball. So the question was whether that ball was tipped by Milford on the way out. The Attleboro fans in attendance said yes, but the officials ultimately got together and decided it was last touched by the Bombardiers. So here is Milford trying to cut further into what is right now a 4-point deficit. Here's Baglione with the deep shot. That bounces around and drops in for 3. Baglione up to 7 points and cuts it down to a 1-point deficit. As that ball goes out of play, it will stay with Attleboro this time. And confusion on the court for who would have possession. This time it is Attleboro. Kick to the corner for three. Not this time, but it's Bodden with the rebound. Cunningham doing all she can. Now it's in the hands of James. Takes an off-balance shot, but drops it in. That's the first make for James, not from three-point territory. She's got 5 points in this third quarter. Now it's TJ Downing with a deep three. So TJ, who was shut out in the first half, is now dropped in 2 from three-point territory. But it's Jenna Callahan who's able to answer right back. Three-point shooting continues to be the name of the game here tonight. Here's Downing, puts up an off-balance shot, tries for her own rebound. Ball loose on the floor, picked up by Kernan, and she gets fouled. Kay Pellegrini and Kyla Nashawati perched at the scorer's table. As Kernan will shoot free throws. Ava Baglione is going to get a rest on the bench here. I think they might have sent Kernan to the bench as well had she made that second free throw, but instead she stays out there. Tia Williamson able to get second chance points there for Attleboro. That's her first points of the night. As now Kernan will get pulled to the sideline. So it's Nashawati, Olivia Baglione, TJ Downing, Kate Pellegrini, and Reagan Cunningham, the 5 on the floor as we tick down to the final minute of the third quarter. Coach Costa trying to keep his 2 top shooters in this game fresh. Here's Cunningham. Back to the free throw line for Reagan.
As her third person, third team foul. Reagan Cunningham at the line for the Scarlet Hawks.
Christelle St. Ville picking up her third foul. Four for 4 from the line so far tonight. 6 points in all in the game for Reagan Cunningham. 2-point difference on the scoreboard, 45 seconds left in this third quarter. Ball ends up out of play along the far sideline, so Milford brings it back in. About 5 seconds difference between shot clock and game clock. Out on the perimeter for Downing from 3. She knocks it down again. 9 points in this third quarter, all from three-point territory, and Milford back in front by 1. Shot clock off now for the final 15 seconds of the third quarter. Good positioning for Downing defensively. It's St. Ville underneath the basket. Her shot no good. Williamson grabs the rebound and puts it back up. A big bucket with time winding down in the quarter to give Attleboro the lead back and a chance for a three-point play. Olivia Baglione whistled for the foul. 5.4 seconds to go after the free throw. Gives Attleboro a 2-point lead back. Milford tosses this ball up for grabs. Nashawati able to keep it in. Can Milford get a shot away? It's Olivia Baglione, and it's TJ Downing who puts it back just before the buzzer to send us on to the fourth quarter, tied at 49. Milford took a chance on a long outlet pass. Nashawati able to run it down, and eventually it was Downing with the putback just before the buzzer to finish off an outstanding offensive quarter for TJ Downing. 11 points in that third quarter, and we're tied up at 49. 8 minutes to go in this one. You don't want to go anywhere. An exciting game between Milford and Attleboro. Coverage coming to you live here from our Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth. We'll be back with more in just a moment. Coverage here on Milford TV is presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. Coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics here on Milford TV is also brought to you in part by Unibank. Big bank know-how, community bank attitude. Check them out at their local branch here in Milford inside the Shaw's Plaza. We return once again to our Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth to begin fourth quarter action. It has been a fantastic game here tonight. Two evenly matched teams staying very close to one another on the scoreboard after each team owned a quarter in the first half, very close in the third, to send us on here to the fourth quarter, tied up at 49. Attleboro edging Milford in that third quarter, 21-19. Kyla Nashawati on the floor to start this fourth quarter. Caitlin Kernan on the bench for the time being. Ava Baglione, after a 14-point first half, did have just 2 points in that third quarter. Milford in some trouble here. Shot clock winding down to 5. TJ Downing puts up the shot, able to get some of the rim. Tia Williamson with the rebound, but then gives it away. Downing no-look pass to the corner for Ava. Shot is no good, and the rebound deflects right into the hands of Shamila Bodden. James now out on the perimeter. 17 points in the game for Attleboro's leading scorer. And meanwhile, Reagan Cunningham forces the jump ball. Milford with the possession arrow going their way, and now we'll see Caitlin Kernan and Olivia Baglione return to the floor before the inbounds. To continue to underscore how similar these teams have been overall on the season, each team has 3 players amongst the top scorers in the Hockomock League. If we have a pause in the action here in this fourth quarter, we'll share those numbers with you a bit more. Ava cutting inside. Tries to go up and under, but that shot doesn't fall. Rebound controlled by Jenna Callahan. Callahan trying to work off of a screen. Diddick's shot no good. Diddick was a big factor in the first half of this game. She'll get 2 points here. Ended up leaving the court after potentially taking some contact in the face. Looks like she was trying to stem some bleeding from her nose towards the end of that first half, and this is the first time we've seen her on the court since playing with Williamson here in the fourth quarter. As that pass comes to the corner, Olivia Baglione trying to use the soccer skills to try to keep that ball on the court, but it goes out. So Attleboro will have a chance to inbound. It's the Bombardiers so far with the only points in this fourth quarter to take a 51-49 lead. Attleboro, the Milford fans clamoring for a travel. And now on the back end of the play, it's Caitlin Kernan, who looked to have the positioning for an offensive foul call. Instead, is going to get called for the block, and so she picks up her third foul. Still 5:19 to go in the fourth. All alone under the basket, it's Williamson, too easy. So she now has 7 points in the second half. And Coach Costa will call a timeout. A 4-0 run for the Bombardiers so far in this fourth quarter. So looking at the scoring leaders in the Hockomock League, it continues to be Kaylee Sullivan who leads the league in scoring, averaging 25.2 points a game. Avery James among the top 10 in scoring, averaging 13.6 points per game. Coming in and in the number 6 spot in scoring. 2 spots down at number 8 is Caitlin Kernan, averaging 12.6 points per game. Just out of the top 10 is TJ Downing. She's 11th in the league, averaging 12 points per game. And 1 spot behind her is Tia Williamson, averaging 11.8 points per game. And then a little bit further down that list, you'll find Ava Baglione, averaging 9.2 points per game, and Lola Renane, averaging 7.1. Although after these last 2 performances, that points per game average is going to continue to tick up for Ava Baglione. But you can see again just how similar these teams are. Milford has not picked up a win against Attleboro since the 2017-2018 season. It's the only win that they've had against Attleboro since the 2 teams have been in the Hockomock League together. Milford trailing by 4 coming out of the timeout. Kernan with a missed bucket, and so far Milford's offense has been cold to start this fourth quarter. Ball poked away, gathered back in. Callahan a 3, it's no good. And now Baglione going coast to coast, now will peel back out. Long pass finds Downing. TJ to the corner for Ava. Ava attacks the basket, she'll pick up 2 points. 2-point margin as Attleboro sends it up ahead for Avery James. Now it's Callahan. She'll drive inside. Easy bucket. Attleboro not as committed to the 3-point line as they have been at other times in this game, and it's given them an opportunity at some easier looks. The lead for Attleboro back to 4, down to 3:47 to go in the game. Kernan loops a tricky pass that gets deflected away and picked up by Avery James. She'll pull up from 3-point territory and knocks down a shot. Attleboro has knocked down double-digit 3-point attempts in this game. And another awkward pass is picked up by Bodden. Milford getting helped out there with the travel call. They will inbound here as the lead for Attleboro has grown to 7. Milford needs some points. They only have 1 shot from the floor so far here in the fourth quarter. Here's TJ Downing. She'll drop that one in. And a steal and a quick putback for Kernan. And that forces Coach Bracken into a timeout. So a nice shot from Downing, and Attleboro succumbs to the pressure in the backcourt from Caitlin Kernan, who's able to put a quick shot back in. So a little mini 4-0 run for Milford in response. Back down to a one-possession game at 58-55 with 2 minutes and 58 seconds to go in the game. So Milford playing their final home games of the season this week. Again, we're hoping that the weather will cooperate on Thursday of next week, or on Thursday of this week, I should say, for that senior night game against Hopedale. If the conditions cooperate, we will have that live coverage. It will be our final coverage of this girls team for the regular season. They'll then wrap up their home schedule against King Philip on Friday, and then they'll play a couple of tough road games next week against Franklin and Taunton. Milford showing pressure in the backcourt once again. Olivia Baglione will knock that pass back out of play. Kernan guarding the inbounds pass. It goes a long way into the backcourt. Milford will pick it up. So good pressure, creating a turnover. TJ Downing looking for options. Gives it to Kernan, backing her way in. And Kernan and Cunningham trying to team up there to create a turnover. Here's James now, a little floater. That's no good. A rare miss for Avery James, but Lily Diddick there to put it back in for two. And the lead for Attleboro is 5. 2:23 to go in the game. Coach Costa on his feet. Here's Kernan driving inside, and she will get fouled. They call it on Williamson. She picks up her third foul, but it's her first foul since the first quarter. She was incredulous after the whistle. Pressure free throws for Caitlin Kernan. She's able to make the first. Four for 7 from the line so far tonight is Kernan. Make it 4 for 8. As Milford steals it back. Out on the perimeter, Kay Pellegrini thought about the shot. Ticking down to 2 minutes to play. Here's Ava, pulls up for the shot, it's short. James with good positioning for the rebound. The feed down low into Williamson. Had trouble controlling that ball, but gets bailed out with the foul call. It's going to go on Kernan. So Caitlin Kernan with 4 fouls here with 1:41 to go. And there is the 5th. Did not want to give up the easy bucket to Williamson, and so that is a tough loss for Milford here as Kernan will foul out with 1:39 to go. Unfortunately, we've seen that on many occasions for Kernan, how sometimes the fouls can come in bunches. Those 2 fouls coming at a very tough time. So we'll see if the rest of the team can elevate their play here. It's been A tough quarter scoring the basketball so far for Milford. And still looking a little out of sorts. Down to 1:22 on the game clock. Pellegrini puts up a three, it's no good. Jump ball called for, but possession arrow will give it to Attleboro. The Bombardiers with the ball and a 4-point lead. And now Milford needing to get numbers up the floor. A big advantage for Attleboro. And things slipping away here for Milford at the end of the fourth quarter. Lead for Attleboro now at 6. Downing puts up a shot, she gets it. Just 45 seconds left. Olivia Baglione whistled for the foul. Attleboro will call a timeout here. Not a lot of options left for Milford at this point with a 62-58 deficit. So just 9 points in this fourth quarter so far for Milford. A little bit more like the performance we saw from the team in the first quarter, scoring 7 points in the first, but then came to life in the middle portion of this game, 23 points in the second. That was the big outburst for Milford that gave them the lead going into the break. Followed that up with 19 points in the third quarter. It's a tied game coming into this fourth quarter. It's been a 13-9 fourth quarter in favor of Attleboro so far. Not out of reach for Milford, but they'll have to execute with near perfection here in this last 46.1, and they'll have to do it again without Caitlin Kernan on the floor, who fouled out with just over 90 seconds to go. Milford with pressure in the backcourt. And Olivia Baglione commits the foul. That's her fourth. And so Attleboro in the bonus now. Shamila Bodden will shoot. Two free throw misses, the ball up for grabs, but Williamson able to use her long reach to track it down, and now more precious seconds coming off the clock. And Milford forced to commit another foul, so Milford got a gift there with the two misses from Bodden, but could not come up with the rebound. TJ Downing commits the foul. She now has 3. It's now Avery James at the line. Right now, Attleboro 0 for 5 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. James able to put in the second shot. It's a 5-point advantage as Milford tries to milk a little clock, letting that ball roll up towards midcourt. Now Cunningham down low. No whistle for contact. And Milford forced to commit another foul, pausing the clock with 19.3 to go. So Milford has just not been able to come up with the big shot here in the fourth. more free throw here will push it to a 3-possession game. Cunningham with a chance at the rebound, trying to kick it out to Downing. Jump ball is the call. Milford will have a chance to inbound with just 14.6 on the clock. Seconds left as Olivia kicks to the corner. Release for Downing from 3. Bounces around but does not drop in. And just 4.4 seconds to go now. And one last shot dropped in just ahead of the buzzer. And that will finish off the night. Not enough to complete the comeback. And so a disappointing end to what was a exciting back and forth game between these two teams, but Attleboro will walk away with a 64-61 win. Battling hard all the way. Both games this season between these two teams ended as 1-possession games, but Attleboro ends up sweeping the season series against Milford, so they continue to have success in this head-to-head matchup. So Attleboro will maintain possession of 4th place in the Kelly Rec standings. They will now improve to 7-8 overall on the season. Milford, with the loss, will now fall to 6-10. So again, weather permitting, the girls will be back here on their home court on Thursday night to honor their seniors with a senior night pregame ceremony before taking on the non-conference Hopedale Blue Raiders. We're hoping to bring you that live coverage on Thursday. We'll keep an eye on the weather and we'll keep you updated on the status of our coverage for that game coming up on Thursday. But our next live coverage here on Milford TV will be back here in this gym tomorrow night for our final Milford Scarlet Hawks wrestling coverage of the season as the Hawks take on Boston Latin. And of course, we will have our special guest commentator, Eddie Huff, bringing you the play-by-play action for that game tomorrow night. So we hope you'll join us for that coverage tomorrow night. Again, expecting the varsity action to get underway around 6:30. But that's going to wrap things up here for tonight. A big thank you to Patrick Garapi running our cameras for tonight's game, and I am Tim Coet. That final score one final time here live from our Rentschler Biopharma broadcast booth, 64-61. Attleboro defeats Milford. This has been a presentation of Scarlet Hawks Athletics here on Milford TV, presented by the Rail Trail Flatbread Company. So long, everybody.